Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. All blessings, honor, glory, and power be unto the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, our Lord and our Savior, whose name is Yahweh Shai. And double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth. And salutations to the elect, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Amun Gabar, and I'm back with another lesson. The Lord willing is quick, edifying, straight to the point. Now, you seen the title of this video. We told you that this day will eventually come. All right, we told you that this day would eventually come. And this is pretty much from a response or land back video or touching on a video of the PSA that the elder apostle Tahar had uploaded yesterday, 20 hours ago to be exact, entitled, as you see right there, PSA, don't say anything to the ... period, ongoing. And of course, in this case, he was referring to the small hats. All right, the small hats. And, through the spirit, of course, the, prophecy, we told you that eventually this day will come. And I'm gonna play the video that the apostle uploaded, which is a short video, 2 minutes and 12 seconds long. All right. But this is just a few steps closer to what would eventually be known as the famine of hearing the word. Okay? Because things are tightening up. All right, things are tightening up. Things are definitely tightening up. And the powers that be on the left-hand side are using this whole, this whole disagreement between the two opposing forces over there to bring forth these different acts. And I'm talking about the small hats and the towel heads. All right, the small hats and the towel heads. And I'm using code words. Everybody should be familiar with these code words by now. All right. So you have this pretty much this war between these two, fighting for something that's not theirs, a land that's not theirs, and a lot of tension, racial tensions, divisions and hatred and so on and so forth, being propagated through the media. And of course, who's playing the victim? The you-know-who. All right, the you-know-who's, the small hats, the 1948ers, whatever. Okay? And of course, this is all going to be geared towards us, the prophets, the Lord willing, the hopeful prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, the men that are out there teaching his word, from day one, because we're, from the apostles on down, the men of the Lord are the ones that are really a thorn in these devils' side. The whole reason behind shutting down free speech, the First Amendment, and all of that is really for us. And the only reason why that was even allowed to happen really was that we, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those that were going to stand up on their feet in the last days and teach this word, so that we can teach the word. That's really why the Lord even allowed certain amendments and certain freedom of speech and freedom of rights. Really was never for us, because we were still in bondage, hardcore bondage. We had that yoke of iron around our neck when all these things were passed, right? But, using the world and not abusing it, the Lord allowed it to where we were able to use that to our advantage through the spirit, because the Lord allowed it to happen so that we could speak, so that we could go out there and exercise freedom of speech. Because if these things never happened, then how would we be able to stand upon our feet and prophesy? We would be in, so you're saying we'd be in hardcore bondage, yokes of iron around our neck, and prophesying on the street corner, learning and teaching the Bible? No. All right, all of this had to happen so that the Lord can make a way for this truth to go out, just like how the internet was created. It wasn't, Esau didn't create the internet with the intentions of us prophesying and doing YouTube videos and doing extensive researches online and bringing out information and blowing a whistle and trumpet. That was never his intention, but that's what the Lord allowed to happen. All right, that's what the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah allowed to happen, just like the First Amendment. But now that things are winding down, okay, why is things winding down? Is because we're at the end. The elect is sealed. All right, the destruction is getting ready to happen. World War III is getting ready to take place. Okay? The MOTB is getting ready to be made mandatory. It's about to be introduced to the world. Okay? It's about to be introduced to the world. You know, they're going to stay. I mean, it's already out there, but a lot of people are still ignorant to Satan's devices, but it's going to be introduced to the world. And eventually, the world's going to know whether they're ready or not. You know, it's going to be made a thing. You know, and of course, in the midst of all of this happening, you know, whether before, prior, after, whatever, but in the midst of all of these things happening, there will be the famine of hearing the word for the masses. So that means those who got it, and those who don't. They will be seeking answers. They will be seeking understanding, but the Lord is going to blindside everybody. You know, so this is just, I guess, a prelude to things to come. You know, and as you see right there on the screen, House passes anti, you know, right there, Awareness Act. Okay, so I'm going to play the video that the Elder Apostle Tahar uploaded yesterday, and it's entitled PSA. I shared it in the community section, so I'll be sharing it here as well on this live stream. So I'll play it and listen.
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Kakodash, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of you left out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Leave These Jays Alone. Don't engage with them, don't mess with them. When they're walking down the street, let them walk down the street. And if they come up to you and they ask questions, you explain what the scriptures say. And they, let me say diplomatic matter. You just tell the truth, okay? Because we do have the truth. The truth is on our side. You see them walking down the street, you don't say, yeah, you ain't one of us. You don't do that. This is a PSA, by the way. Leave these Jays alone. And watch this video, GMS Trump 144. Bless the Lord. And it says House passes Anti-Awareness Act, Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. And well, it says, meanwhile, crimes against the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Natives still continue. But so we know who's, you know, we know what's up. We know what's up. So I'm gonna say it again, leave them alone. Don't say nothing to them. If they talk to you, you talk to them like you talk to any person that's asking a question. You tell them the truth. You tell them that they're Edomites and that we're the Israelites. And you can also tell them that some of them are actually Israelites, because some of them are actually Israelites. You got these people that are actually Israelites. Because remember, we were scattered throughout the whole planet. So if your lineage goes back to any of the 12 tribes of Israel, then you're going to make it in the kingdom. Anyway, that's all I had to say. With that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.
And that's it. All right. You heard what the apostle said. All right. You know, these. Sorry.
The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act heads to the Senate.
Shalom, giving all praise to
It went in on autoplay. Excuse me. So this is the video I'm gonna play next. But you heard what the apostle said. Pretty much don't lead them the hell alone. In other words, they walking down the street. The days of, hey, you devil, yelling at them from across the street, or the so-called Jews are black, blah blah blah, all of that. Just leave it alone, drop it. That's clearly what the apostle Tahar said. And if they come up asking questions, you answer questions accordingly. The personal attacks, just leave it alone, blah, et cetera, et cetera. That's just that. That's just that. We're entering into a different phase, a different time. Things are definitely getting ready to tighten up. These devils are getting ready to make their moves. And of course, we still teaching. He ain't say don't teach the truth. He didn't say none of that. He just said, you see these devils, leave them alone. Let them walk on by. All right? Let them walk on by. They come, stop, ask questions. You just tell them what it is. Listen, this is what the Bible say. The real Jews will come over here in cargo slave ships, et cetera, et cetera. All All right, let them know they Amalek, whatever, and then just that. They ain't get if they ain't gonna get it, they ain't gonna get it. You know? You tell them just walk on down the street. You know, but hey, that's what the scriptures made me think of this. Right here. Amos 5:13. It says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. The prudent, what does prudent mean? It means to be wise. All right, the wise shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. Now, only the wise are going to be able to discern what type of time they're living in. All right, only the wise. And I think I say that because, you know, of course, we moving in a different spirit, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, of course, but a different spirit as opposed to these other Israelite groups. You know, you never seen Great Millstone GMS, you know, storm capitals and show up at major protests and that shit that got nothing to do with us. You never seen that, and you would never see that, because the prudent man shall keep silence in that time. We're not gonna just roll up on Esau and roll up on the small hats when they having their own clashes. We don't give a f about that. Our job is to prophesy, right? So I could see other groups, you know, not taking heed and just doing what they do, cursing out, you know, the small hats and getting ready to whoop their ass and fight them, if anything. But they don't know what type of time we're in. They really not in tune with the spirit. You know, they just out there call the so-called white men devil. And there's more to it than just that. You know, be discerning the times and knowing what type of time we're entering into. So, in other words, F these small hats, bro. Just whatever they walk on by, a whole herd of them just walk on by across the street. You let them go, whatever. The days of yelling out the so-called, you know, Jews are black, whatever. Okay, them days is, you know, just we moving into a different time. That's it. Therefore, the prudent man shall keep silence in that time, for this evil time. Ultimately, what time is that talking about? The time that's getting ready to come. Jacob's trouble. All right. Esau is laying snares, laying traps. All right. Matter of fact, another precept I have real quick is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. So woe unto them. Woe unto them. Woe unto them. That's woe unto Esau, Edom. All right. They decree unrighteous decrees through their laws. All right, through their statutes and legislations and agreements and all of that. They're the ones that do that. So woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree. That's an unrighteous decree, because we know very well that those individuals are imposters. So for us, so for it to be labeled as a crime that we cannot let them know that they're imposters, and they calling it this word right here. Right? This is what they call, when we tell them the truth, this is what they calling it. Right? And this is what they calling it. When we tell them the truth that they're not the real people and we are the real people, they're labeling it this. Okay? And they're saying that we denying the you know, the hollow, you know, cause. All right? They're saying we're hollow cause deniers and all this other shit, and that we're hate crime, and that we're anti whatever. So that's wickedness that Esau is performing. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So they're gonna make it a crime for you to say anything against the small hats, and that's how you know who runs the world. That's how you know who's behind everything, who's pulling the strings, who are the, like the scriptures say, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. That's a tall tale sign who the wicked is. Okay, it's clear. If it wasn't clear as day before to you, it should be clear as day to you now. So it says to turn aside the needy from to turn aside the needy from judgment. All right, and where's the judgment found? Written in the scriptures, right? The Holy Bible. That's the book of judgment. That's the book of the laws. All right, how do you get judged? According to the law. So Esau take away, you know, the laws, the statute, commandments, the understanding of the Bible, and just, you know, cause Jake to go off. Okay, and pretty much when it comes down to judgment, Israelites get the short end of the stick. The rules don't apply to us like it applies to those, you know, to the heathens. It just don't. Okay, because that's their laws, that's their rules. It's like how the Bible don't apply to them. All right, you know, the things that are written in the scriptures don't apply to them in most cases. Then the same thing with their laws. You know, when the amendments and the rights and all these things were established, it was established with Edomites in mind. All right, it was established with these other nations in mind, not the Israelites. You know, like for example, the 13th Amendment. You know, about that pretty much that still enables slavery, as long as you are found guilty of a crime, you imprisoned and all of that. Go read it. So slavery is abolished except if a person is convicted of a crime or they're imprisoned. So everybody that's in jail, the prison system, they're still slaves. They're literal slaves. And who make up the jail population? Israelites. So it says, and to take away the rights from the poor of my people, it's our God-given right to preach the word, to exercise the scriptures, right? To exercise everything. Like there's even the laws, certain laws, statutes, and commandments we can't even keep because we're in captivity, right? You see a Momo, that nigga's supposed to go. We can't do that. All right, we just can't do that. You know, so that's part of that. It says that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. You know, Esau is an extortionist, taking advantage. All right, totally just destroying Jake, Israelites. All right, so that was the point I wanted to get on that. All right, so this is I played this. This was the Elder Apostle Tahar's video. Let me play the video that he got that he was referencing. Let me turn the volume down because it's pretty loud. Let me see. And this is from GMS Bless the Lord. GMS Trom 144. Excuse me. You can play the video.
The House passed the bill with strong. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act heads to the Senate. The House passed the bill with strong bipartisan support yesterday. It would establish a broader definition of anti-Semitism for the Department of Education to enforce anti-discrimination laws. Opponents are concerned the legislation could stifle free speech as campus protests about the conflict in Gaza continue nationwide.
Issue since the Israel-Hamas war, a rise in anti-Semitism. We have heard from Georgia college students before who say they are scared just to say they're Jewish.
This is terrible, and now Congress is taking action to protect them at the federal level. Atlanta News First anchor Carly Barnett is live from the state capitol. Carly, similar legislation was passed just at the start of the year.
Sean Blair, we are essentially seeing very similar legislation to what was accomplished under the Gold Dome earlier this year, now at the national level. We do know that anti-Semitic incidents have been on the rise in recent years, and they have escalated since October 7th. That is according to data from the Anti-Defamation League. So with the protests that are taking place at Emory, as well as college campuses all across the country, the House passed the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act with support from both parties. That would mandate the Department of Education adopt the definition of anti-Semitism used by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. They define anti-Semitism as a certain perception of Jews, which may be expressed as hatred toward them. That could include calling for the killing or harming of Jews or holding them responsible for actions by the State of Israel. President Biden will speak at the Holocaust Memorial Museum next week for Holocaust Remembrance Day, and he's going to unveil even more action to combat the issue.
The president will also discuss our moral duty to combat the rising scourge of anti-Semitism and the Biden-Harris administration's work to implementing the first ever national strategy to counter anti-Semitism, to make real the promise of never, never again.
The Anti-Semitism Act now heads to the Senate. Back here at home in Georgia, what that legislation did was now the law more clearly defines anti-Semitism using that very same definition. They say this will make it easier to prosecute hate crimes against Jewish people. What that legislation did was now the law more clearly defines anti-Semitism using that very same definition. They say this will make it easier to prosecute hate crimes against Jewish people. Live in down, what that legislation did was now the law more clearly defines anti-Semitism using that very same definition. They say this will make it easier to prosecute hate crimes against Jewish people. Live in downtown Atlanta, Carly Barnett, Atlanta News First. That legislation did was now the law more clearly defines anti-Semitism using that very same definition. They say this will make it easier to prosecute hate crimes against Jewish people. Live in downtown Atlanta, Carly Barnett, Atlanta News First.
There you go. So we see persecution is on the rise, man. All right, persecution is on the rise. That law, the law statute, the legislation that they're passing is going to make persecution that much more clearer and easier on persecuting those that speak up against, you know, the little hatters, the small hatters and all that, man. So we told you eventually this day was going to come, and they're going to pass these bills. They're going to pass it. It's going to be signed into law, you know, because that's the times we're living in. Eventually, freedom of speech, freedom of everything, freedom literally is about to be taken away from these people. All right. So we living in some very ill times, and like the title of the video, we told you that this day would eventually come. Amos 8:11. It says, Amos 8:11, real quick. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, although a famine of bread, although that's coming. Nor thirst for water, although that's coming. So a famine of bread and a famine of water is indeed coming. All right, there are already shortages out here. Okay, the supply chain is just getting wiped out day by day. Okay, so eventually it's gonna hit home where people gonna realize that bread and water, food, meat is obsolete, it's gone. All right, and they're gonna try to restore all things through their order. Okay, they're gonna try to restore chaos. Restore order through chaos. So anyway, it says, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So eventually, a famine of hearing the word of the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is coming. All right, eventually that's coming. So let me see. Eventually that's coming, Salakia. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and they shall not find it. So eventually these people are going to be lost in the source, because here it is, we've been telling you the truth, and Esau is going to use this to totally shut out the truth. And like I was meditating and thinking about it, you know, you do videos. See, all right, boom, check it out. So you got the law that's going to be passed, right? It's going to cover a wide range of this particular subject. In other words, you're going to have Google, you're going to have Twitter, X, you're going to have social media platforms that are going to be forced to enforce these laws. You see? So YouTube, instead of brothers' videos getting flagged or removed, your whole channel may be removed because you violated. Watch YouTube, watch Google, watch these social media platforms update their terms and services and all this other thing. Watch them update it once this law is passed. So the algorithm is going to pick up on certain words that, you know, you won't be able to bypass. And once you say these certain trigger words, there goes your account. You know, that's just a scenario. That's just a scenario. That's it. So again, behold, the days come, save the Lord, that I will send a famine, which is a shortage, all right, in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So there's going to be a shortage of hearing the words of the Lord. You know, people going to be seeking answer, but they ain't going to be able to find it. Like it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, all right, and from the north even to the south. From the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So these people are going to be lost in the source when that time comes. All right, why? Because 2 Chronicles 36:16, it says, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy. So they, who are the they? It's talking about the Israelites. Mainly the Israelites, starting with the Israelites, because those are the ones who the words are for. The messengers were sent to these people. All right, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High. All right, we've been mocked, ridiculed, you know, for how long? You know, from the apostles on down, I should say, how long? And then us that came in via the YouTube 34th era, so on and so forth. We were mocked, ridiculed. People talk shit. Jake talk shit, telling us we're hateful. They love the, you know, Esau, buddy, blah, blah, blah. Cool. And despise his words. They despise the words of the Lord. That's why Proverbs, the first chapter, is going to fall upon them. It says, it misused his prophets. The prophets were sent to say before it happened. Even this whole thing with this, eventually these things will happen. It was prophesied to happen. It was all prophesied to happen. Okay, so it was prophesied, and until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, and there was no remedy, because all hell is getting ready to break loose. All hell is getting ready to break loose, and the Lord is getting ready to wipe this place out. He's getting ready to sweep this place with the bosom of destruction, which is by the way of ICBM missiles, World War III. I had pulled this up, this devil, Albert Pike. A few of his quotes and saying, and so on and so forth. It says the Third World War will occur between political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world, which we see that happening right now. The small hats and the towel heads. It says the war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and the political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other, which that's happening right now. It says, meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical and moral and spiritual economical exhaustion. All right. So that's what's going on right now. And this is another one. It's kind of small to read. It's pretty much saying the same thing, but like reiterating in a different way. It says the Third World War must be fomented. What does that say? I can't even read it. Fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. So it's saying the same thing. All right, and that's what's happening right now. But prior to World War III, you got what you see happening right now. All right, this is all a build-up. This is all part of the propaganda. This is all part of the attack on free speech. All right, because during the time of war, there is no freedom of speech. All right, you gotta hear what your leaders are telling you, and that's all that matter. You don't have no right to voice your opinion and none of that. All that is being taken away and stripped right before our eyes, or before their eyes. All right. This is Psalms 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Who's the throne of iniquity? It's talking about these Edomites, these elites, the powers that be. All right. And the leaders of them, or the main ones, are the small hats. All these people, all them leaders of this wicked world, they're small hats. Okay, they're Amalek. So it says, which frame mischief by law. And that's what they're doing. They're putting together laws, and it's framing mischief by law. So they're putting together these laws that's causing mischief. All right, that's going to cause the persecution to happen. All right, that's going to cause the total annihilation of free speech. Can't say shit. It says they gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. That's what they do. Who are the righteous? The Israelites. And they condemn innocent blood. That's going to be their way of condemning us. And, because everything we say is anti-Edomites. Everything we say. We talk about the MOTB. That's anti-Edomite. That's anti-Esau's agenda. That's anti-beast system agenda. Okay? We're against them. So they're going to pass all these laws, and they're going to call us outlaws, rebels. They're going to call us, what's the word? Mutinous, not mutant, but like, when you commit mutiny, which is uprising against the government, they're going to call us, with some other words, just seditious and just, treasonous. They're going to call us all those things and bring us up against the law, whatever. But the Lord told us that when these things happen, don't be afraid. Don't think about what you're going to say. Don't worry about it. The Lord is going to defend us. It's like it says in verse 22. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge. So regardless of what these devils do, the throne of iniquity does, and all of that, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is our defense. But the Lord, power Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is my defense. He's going to defend us against this evil day. And my rock is the power of my refuge. Just like on Proverbs 18, it tells you the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and it is safe. So when all these things happen, bro, our faith, which is and was being established in these times while things were quiet, is going to be our stronghold. It's going to be our stronghold. And that's all it's going to boil down to at the end of the day is your faith. You know, your faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, your trust in him, and everything you've been doing to build your faith in these times. The Lord is going to be our defense. So let Esau do what he's going to do. You know, the point is, you know, the PSA the Apostle Tahar put out, you know, just lead them small hatters alone. Just they walking up and down, they walking up the street, leave them alone. Don't even engage with them unless they come up asking questions. You answer them accordingly, and that's that. All right. Personal attacks, dead it. Verse 23 says, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. So they're going to reap what they sow. They're going to get caught in their own gin, their own trap, their own snare. It says, yeah, the Lord our power shall cut them off. And that's going to be the end all be all for these devils. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let me get a couple precepts from off the comment board and I'm going to close this lesson. All right. This is the end has come. Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So the Lord, that's what he does. Amos 5:7. He revealed his secrets. Is it 5 and 7 or 3 and 7? Let me see. Oh, 3 and 7. It says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets, or his secret, unto his servants, the prophets. All right. So the Lord is revealing his secret to the servants, the prophets. That's why Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you them. So before the prophecies happen, I'm going to tell you them. And when I tell you them, you're going to give the people warning from me, like Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, Ezekiel 33. That's the job of the prophet, to say before it happens. All right, that's why the scripture said, then shall be known that a prophet have been among them. When these things start to happen, they're gonna say within themselves, yo, the prophet said it. The men, they said this was gonna happen. They said the MOTB, they said this, they said that, they said persecution, they said all of that, they said Jacob's trouble. They were hell-bent on talking about Jacob's trouble. They even declared a whole coined the whole year. Yeah, that's the spirit that brothers is in, the spirit of prophecy. All right, and then they're gonna know that a prophet have been among them. All right. Isaiah 29:21, GMS fruit of knowledge by Yath. It says 21. It says that make a man an offered or so I'm sorry, let me read it one more time. Isaiah 29:21. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gates, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. All right, who are the reprovers? Read Proverbs, the 1st chapter. You know, scriptures say, you know, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the street. The scriptures all tell us that he reproveth at the gate, right? So, let's see. I'm getting another one. This is a Zanamath. Ephesians 5:15. See then you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. All right, I mean, in other words, you see a damn small hat, you don't gotta say shit to him. Don't walk up to him, you know, hey, you know, you're so-called, you're the devil the Bible speak of. Man, let that nigga be. All right. And like also another key point the apostle said to Apostle, that even among them, you got Israelites scattered abroad, because for one, Israel was scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Israelites look like all nations under the sun, all right, because they've been scattered among all nations under the sun. So you have Israelites that are actually identifying themselves as small hatters. They're actually out there protesting with them. They're actually out there living in the land of Israel right now, thinking that they part of this, that they part of them, but they're not. They're Israelites. I remember years ago, there was this one cat, I believe he's an Israelite, over a decade ago, almost 20 years ago. But this one guy his name is Madish Yahoo. He's an artist. He looked like a small hat, right? He was an orthodox looking type of small hat guy, but he was a artist. He kind of was doing like reggae music and all that. And I believe that guy's a Jake. Actually, he actually don't follow the orthodox way of, you know, Judaism and all that. He kind of like, I'm not sure if he fully denounced it or what, but he don't wear the, you know, the outfit no more. You know, he cut the curls and all that. So he's kind of like a regular guy now, you know, that make music. But that was like 2004 or something like that. But I believe he's a Jake, and you got a lot of small hats among them. I mean, a lot of Israelites among the small hats. You know, so that was one of the points that the Apostle Torah made as well. But anyway, it says, see that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You know, don't be all foolish out there, you know, just randomly, you know, we hate Edom, Esau with perfect hatred, you know, but use wisdom too. All right. Use wisdom first and foremost. All right. Amos 5 and 10. All right. The brother put it up. Zanamath. Amos 5 and 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. So they hate us because we're the ones that rebuking in the gate. You know, all these protesters, and they don't care about these protests. That's all, man. That's all sponsorship. That's all set up. That's all staged. That's all to bring forth this agenda. That's all it's about. And then you're gonna have the dummies, the sheep that's gonna follow along, just like the BLM movement. That wasn't real. That thing was staged. It was set up. All right. And then of course you're gonna have the masses of people that's gonna follow along. Just like there's this video I had one to re-upload, right? You have, I should have re-uploaded so I could just find it, but it's a spirit. I'll probably re-upload it in another time. But it's just an experiment. You had 3 people sitting in a room, sitting on a chair, right? And every time they were paid actors. They were part of the experiment. So the thing is that every time a buzzer go off, the 3 people stand up. And every time the buzzer go off again, they sit down. So now the experiment was they were bringing people that were unaware of the experiment in the room. I guess it was for a job interview or something. So the people that came in unaware one by one, they seen what the 3 people that were part of the program doing. Every time the buzzer went on, they stood up. Every time it went off, they sat down. So the people that walked in afterwards eventually started following what the original 3 people were doing, having, you know, with no idea why they're doing it. They just saw them doing it and they started doing it. And then one person came in, I think her name was Amy. She came in and she didn't follow what everybody else was doing. She just sat down the whole time, didn't even look at them. And the people that were conducting the experiment, they was like, all right, we got to get rid of Amy. She's not following what we're telling. She's not following everybody else. So in other words, the point of the thing was, the point of the experiment was that people are sheep and they follow what the masses do. So eventually they took out the 3 people that were in on it. They took them out, and everybody that had no clue what was going on, they were just following. They kept on standing up and sitting down every time the experiment went off, showing you that you just need a few people, a few agents, a few people to get shit started, and everybody else is going to continue doing it, not even knowing why they're doing it. You know, like the brother said, blindly following. You know, they just blindly follow. So they had to get rid of Amy because Amy wasn't even following. So, you know, that's like us. We not following shit. And the people that's not following are the ones that are a threat to the government. So you're always going to have agents and people that's going to be set up to get things started. And then once they do their job, the chaos has already begun. You know, so see then you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Let me see something real quick. Bear with me one moment. I just want to see something. I think I got it. Hold on. Let me see something. Yeah, yep, I found it. Hold on. I think I'm going to play it for y'all right now. Yep, I got it. So let me see. Watch this video right here.
24 finalists were invited back on separate days to fill out some paperwork, but they were actually taking part in a compliance test. The 3 people on the left are actors. They've been briefed to stand or sit when they hear this. Everyone else that's brought in is a genuine shortlisted applicant. They've been given no instructions other than to fill out their forms. My team and I were secretly watching from another room. socially compliant a person is, the more they're likely to look to others for signs of how to behave.
This is going to be your spot.
And the more people, the greater the pressure to join in. In this case, whether to stand or sit.
The more people, the greater the pressure it is to comply. You hear that? The more people, the more greater the pressure to comply. So the more people you got, involved in these shenanigans that Esau is pushing, is the more people are just going to comply. And we've seen that throughout the years, the past few years with the, the jabby jab, you know what I'm saying? So let me play on.
Those people that didn't follow the crowd were removed. I think we have to lose Amy, sadly.
See?
Amy, with me?
Amy had to go.
Once we had a full house, we got rid of the actors, leaving us with a room full of compliant people standing up and sitting down, even though nobody told them to do this. Hello. Hi.
You see? You see that? That was a psyop. No, they call it a compliance test. That was a psyop. That was a psychological operation. They got rid of the people that started it, and they were just left with a bunch of people complying for they don't know what reason. That's what's happening. All these protests and all of that, man. These people don't know what the hell they protesting for. They just know that the media said to do it. That's it. So I'm glad I was able to find that. But read a couple. Brother, Basic Wisdom put up, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. And that's exactly what it is. Jake is following the multitude to do evil. Like I stated earlier, when shit go down and you got things happening in the political world, storming the Capitol and then all of this, let's meet over here. Let's set up camp in the middle of an Iranian protest between the small hats. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't follow a multitude to do evil. You just do what you were supposed to do. Teach the word. All right? Teach the word as you was commanded. Okay? This is be like-minded. He hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and converted and be converted, and I shall heal them, which is the precept from Isaiah the 6th chapter. And that's 2/3. 2/3 were blinded. All right, 2/3 were blinded. That's the masses of the people. This is 2 Corinthians 4:3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. 2/3 are lost. It says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Lord Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. All right, so like the video I just shown, I mentioned it earlier. We like Amy, so to speak. We're like Amy, so to speak. We're not blindly following what this man tell us. We're not following anything he tell us at that. Of course we comply with the rules, and like Romans 13 tell us. The Lord says stop at the red light. Stop at the red light. But when it comes to when Esau come with them austerity measures, and them draconian laws and mandates and all that, we say fuck you. Go kick rocks. Okay. So that's what it means. Redeeming the times because the days are evil. Blindly following. These people are blindly following. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up. And get one more precept. This is Basic Wisdom. 2 Ezra 9:13. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for whom the world is created. And that's our concern. Our concern is only for the elect. All right, we out here fishing for the elect. We ain't out here to save everybody. It's saying that everybody, it's saying that all, everybody can make it type of thing. This is only for the elect at the end of the day. And that's our focus. We ain't bending our backs and killing ourselves to try to get all Israel to wake up. We ain't gathering all Israel. All Israel is not going to be gathered. All right, so the hell with the 2/3. Anybody showing any indication that they of the wicked ones, fuck them. All right, we moving on. So anyway, that's it. You know, that's it. I just wanted to speak on that. You know, play this video from the Elder Apostle Tahar, GMS declaring the end. PSA: don't say anything to the small hats. Just leave them the hell alone, man. You know what I mean? They walking down the street, let them walk down the street. They crossing the street, let them cross the street. Brothers is just to teach the word and just keep it moving, you know? So, excuse me. Just leave them the hell alone, all right? So I hope and pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakwadash that this was an edifying lesson to the elect of the nation of Israel. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua Barakatham. Until next time I say Shalom.